welcome to WMLT News. I'm Chris Anderson.
And I'm Courtney Vanatter. With summer on the way, Charleston is making some interesting progress on laws regarding the quality of dining. Restaurants could soon begin serving lunch and dinner on city sidewalks following the passage of an outdoor dining bill last Monday. Not only that, but if some want to serve beer with their meals, the City Council says that's okay too. However, the bill does not apply to bars. The bill only applies to restaurants in the Central Business District, an area roughly bounded by the Elk and Canal Rivers, Leon Sullivan Way, and Smith and Washington Streets. Streets with a speed limit of 25 miles an hour or less also apply. The council said it was mainly Capitol Street that sparked the idea and that their plan is start small and see how it goes. The council was also quoted saying that there's an opportunity to create a village atmosphere like other places where dining outdoor is part of the culture.
The state Supreme Court announced it would create a juvenile drug court in the McDowell County. The Southern Coalfield region has a huge drug abuse problem within the school system. In the past 2 years, about 70 students were expelled from McDowell County for drug-related offenses. Drugs account for 70% of all student expulsions. The drug court is the most recent effort in the program called Reconnecting McDowell. The juvenile drug court includes juvenile justice, social service, law enforcement, and education systems to provide treatment to nonviolent children with alcohol and substance abuse problems. Now with this week's Concord Minute is Nathan Altair.
Last week at Concord, the annual SGA-funded Spring Fling kicked off with a lot of activities for students. Laser tag, zip lining, and blacklight bingo were just a few things that started off the event. Students also enjoyed a picnic, free food and t-shirts, and a live band. Spring Fling is meant to help students to connect and have fun in the last few weeks of the spring semester. Also, the annual Fine Arts Banquet will be taking place this week for the first time since 2009. It will be held at Pipestem State Park on Friday, April 27th. It is free for any fine arts majors, and awards will be given for students who have excelled in the arts. Awards in public relations, art education, radio, video production, broadcast television, three-dimensional art, and advertising graphic design will be awarded. One person will also be awarded Communication Arts Student of the Year. For anyone interested, contact Jessica Doty at jylilly@concord.edu. That's all for this week's CU Minute. Back to you guys at the desk.
An Amber Alert seen all through Mercer County came to an end Saturday. Tracy Lee Atwell, who was 38 years old, has been accused of killing his wife and then abducting the couple's 8-year-old daughter, Portia, from his parents' home. Police say that Tracy Atwell strangled his wife, Christina, who was 33 years old, before traveling to his parents' home in the Spanisburg area. He then tied up his parents to be able to take Portia from their house. He was caught Saturday after the police were able to track Atwell through a cell phone call to his parents' house. Portia was found safe and physically unharmed. The police said the two were living off candy bars, Laffy Taffy, and a bottle of water inside the vehicle Atwell allegedly took from his parents. Atwell is being charged with murder, armed robbery, kidnapping, concealment of a child, and grand larceny. He is currently being held at Southern Regional Jail.
This past week, the Greeks came together for a fun-filled week of sports, games, and other activities. Here is Brianna Foreman with more.
The National Greek organizations at Concord University held their annual Greek Week competition this week from April 9th to April 13th. Greek Week is a tradition of friendly competitions throughout 1 week in the spring semester. Organizations that competed this year were Alpha Sigma Alpha, Alpha Sigma Tau, Delta Zeta, Sigma Sigma Sigma, Phi Sigma Phi, Pi Kappa Phi, Sigma Tau Gamma, and Tau Kappa Epsilon. The turnout for Greek Week this year was more than imagined. The events ranged from athletic to intellectual to those that require a little more stamina. They included football, volleyball, basketball, dodgeball, swimming, quiz bowl, cupcake eating and push-up contests, and Greek sing. All of the organizations put forth great effort in competing in the games. Ultimately, Sigma 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 came in first, Delta Zeta came in second, and Alpha Sigma Alpha placed third. In fraternities, Phi Sigma Phi came in first, Tau Kappa Epsilon came in second, and Pi Kappa Phi placed third. Cassidy Hall took home the honor of Greek Goddess for Sigma Sigma Sigma. and Greg Sloan from Sigma Tau Gamma took Greek God. This is Brianna Foreman for WMLT News.
Stay tuned. We'll return with more WMLT News in just a moment.
Welcome back to WMLT News.
On April 14, 1912, the world's largest and most luxurious ocean liner, the Titanic, struck an iceberg and lost but 700 of more than 2,000 passengers and crew on board. In Belfast, Northern Ireland, where the Titanic was built, was a ceremony for the 100th anniversary and a memorial monument was unveiled. The event was attended by relatives of the people who lost their lives, local dignitaries, and explorer Robert Ballard, who discovered the wreck of the Titanic on the ocean floor in 1985. Officials say this is the first Titanic memorial to list all the victims alphabetically with no distinction between passengers, crew members, or the class of the travelers.
Spring has sprung here at Concord and campus has been alive with activities. The Student Government Association set up laser tag and a zip line to keep students entertained for this year's Spring Fling. WMLT talked to SGA's Vice President about the events. Singer Jason Mraz has unclaimed money in West Virginia. West Virginia Treasurer John Perdue said the pop singer's name is on a list of people due unclaimed property in the state. Perdue says it's probably from a concert he put on at the Clay Center in September 2010. The Treasurer's office has been unable to reach Mraz. The Associated Press left a message for Mraz, but also has been unsuccessful in reaching him. Perdue serves as the custodian for more than 716,000 unclaimed property accounts, totaling to more than $152 million. Now with sports, here's Richard Babbage.
Thanks, guys. This week in sports, the NFL has suspended New Orleans Saints head coach Sean Payton, general manager Mickey Loomis, former defensive coordinator Greg Williams, and current interim head coach Joe Vitt. All of the suspended coaches are barred from contacting each other or anyone else under a contract in the NFL. These sanctions were a result of the Bountygate scandal in which Saints players were encouraged to injure key personnel from the other team. The Saints organization was also fined $500,000 and their second-round draft picks over the next 2 years. Leading the NBA MVP race is LeBron James. Curiously absent from the list is Derrick Rose. The NBA playoff race is solidifying. In the East, the Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers, Orlando Magic, Boston Celtics, and Atlanta Hawks have all clinched a playoff spot. The Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks are contending for playoff berths. In the West, the San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder, LA Lakers, and LA Clippers have all clinched playoff berths. However, the Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets, and Memphis Grizzlies are still duking it out for playoff spots. That's it for this week's sports. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Joshua Michael Stern will be directing a film beginning in May about Steve Jobs' early life and the founding of Apple. Actor Ashton Kutcher will be going back to the 1970s to play Jobs in this indie film. This news came to a surprise to some who took it as an April Fool's joke because of the timing of the release, but CNN confirmed through one of Kutcher's representatives that the actor has officially signed for the role. The movie will cover Jobs from when Apple was founded in 1976 until he returned to the company in the late 1990s after being forced out. This movie will face competition from Sony Pictures, who is also developing its own Jobs movie, based on the best-selling book by Walter Isaacson. Concord students are preparing for a Relay for Life on Friday the 20th. Different organizations come together to raise money for the great cause. WMLT talked to Jessica Schuler for more information.
Secret Service agents and officers have been stripped of the security clearances. The agents and officers were involved in a prostitution scandal. They have been accused of misconduct and placed on administrative leave and barred from entering any Secret Service facility anywhere in the world. They also had to give up their equipment to supervisors. The group included 3 of the black-clad commandos from the counter-assault teams, which is a top official along with 2 supervisors. Some other evidence has shown that 5 or more military personnel might have also been involved in the misconduct, which may have involved hiring prostitutes. A Pentagon official said that more than 10 U.S. military personnel might have been involved. Space Shuttle Discovery arrived near Washington on a Tuesday after a trip from Florida. Discovery, which landed at Dulles International Airport, went on a few flybys for bystanders. After circling the National Mall to a cheering crowd, the craft hurried to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum in Chantilly, Virginia. The spacecraft ends its run with a more commercialized space industry than before. A new space corporation titled SpaceX plans to start ferrying cargo to space, and in 4 years, astronauts. Commercial companies claim that their new vehicle will be many times safer than the shuttles of the past.
That's all for this week's WMLT News and our last show of the semester. WMLT News will return again in September.